Hello, everyone. A very good evening. This is something we have been wanting to do for quite some time, and I think lockdown has just given us the right opportunity to finally get it done. We have been wanting to do a podcast, The Secret of Indian Martial Arts, and we are very fortunate to have with us today none other than one of the most eminent master, Guru Nischal Yodha, with us. And we'll try to have a very candid conversation with him about his journey, about Indian martial art, and what is the importance of it, and all that to come. Without further ado, let's hear it from the person himself about how it started and what is the status of it, and how it can be both beneficial for us as an individual, also as a society, as well as. So, welcome to the show. Very
Namaskar.
welcome.
Namaskar, Hiren. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for calling me.
So, thank you for joining us and taking us this time to join us today. So,
Welcome.
like we have been keep on hearing about Indian martial art, about your profession, but not many people know or aware about it. So that is the reason of bringing you here to get together in the show today, so that we
Yes.
can hear it from the first person point of view from yourself itself. So,
Yes.
would you please like to share a bit about yourself?
My name is Nischal Yodha,
Yes.
and I am the Adi Guru. So they call me as a main master for Dommi Saamu. So it's a very traditional martial art of Andhra Pradesh. So I basically practice that system, and I try to develop that system and teach it to the students also. So at the same time, I was been having an experience of 35 years of experience in different types of martial arts. I was being trained in, I'm a black belt holder in judo, karate, and jiu-jitsu. And also I was being trained in some of the most modern martial arts like Krav Maga, World War II combatives, and mixed martial arts, kickboxing, Muay Thai. In this way, I was being trained in many different styles of martial arts. At the same time, I was being trained in Mallavidya, Vajramusti, and Samu. Samu is my main martial art, which I've learned it from Indian martial arts. So I was been training lots of law enforcement agencies and special forces. Also, I was training them. And at the same time, there are many people who are coming down to me to learn Indian martial arts. And my aim is also to promote Indian martial arts and teach it to the everyone and show it to the world also what warrior culture we have. So through this, I'm just trying to promote it and develop the systems also, and trying to travel everywhere and pick up everything, whatever is required for us to and know about the in-depth research on Indian martial arts. Because Indian martial arts is a kind of system which is like kept very secretive. People practice it in a very secretive way. They are not ready to expose the arts and all, and why they are not doing it also, nobody is ready to expose it. So what I want to do is go pick up the systems and then start developing them and understanding them, why it has been done like this, and slowly start developing and going further. At the same time, I work with the Atma Raksha. It's basically a self-defense method. We call it as React. And through React, we are trying to teach self-defense. Self-defense is one of the most important subjects which everybody should learn it at this time. So I'm trying to promote that self-defense also, and it's entirely a different picture altogether. From martial arts, self-defense is an entirely different picture. So that is also we are doing it, and many people come down to my academy to me for consulting about lots of problems like some domestic violence and stalking problems. Also, there are victims who are suffering with that. They come down to us to ask for the suggestions for how to deal with the situation, and we give them the appropriate situation how to deal with it. And we have solved lots of problems also like this. So this is what we are going to do it, and this is what I'm trying to do it for the people also, and it's going on good as such. Yeah, that's it.
Wow, that's quite a long of a journey. Great. So, just wanted to know, when did it actually start, and how did your journey begin? How was it like, and what age you started with, and so far, how has your
Okay.
journey been? Yes.
I think I can tell you one thing, that my whole life was with martial arts only. I don't know anything else as such apart from martial arts. So I started my journey in martial arts when I was 4 years old. So when I was 4 years old, I was a very sick kid. I was a very weak kid also. So I always used to fall sick, and doctors also were telling that his immune strength should build up. And at that time, it was very difficult because it was very difficult for me to recover from any illness. So at that time, my grandfather and his friends were there. All friends were there. So he used to practice Mallavidya, wrestling. So they took me to the akadas, and they put me in the akada, and they asked that just practice in akada, whatever you want to. So they taught me one unique method of wrestling, which is very rare now. Nobody practices it as such now. Everybody practices as a sport form. But they taught me a very different method of wrestling, which we call it as a neck wrestling, basically grappling with the necks. So it's a very different form of wrestling. So they started teaching me. I was there with them for 1 year, and I started learning the techniques. And in that one only, they basically train us how to attack the vital areas, the marmas, and how to press the marmas and take a control on the enemy and all. So I was first started practicing that. And slowly my fitness has increased to the next levels. And then I thought that, okay, I should not leave martial arts. So after that, I came out of the village, and I'm back to the city. So I don't get the training. So then I started practicing Kung Fu. For a long time, around 3 years, I practiced Kung Fu. Then I started getting into karate. I learned karate for at least 9 years. I became a black belt holder. Then I started learning kickboxing. I started picking up the kickboxing style, and then I practiced it for a long time. When I was learning kickboxing, that is the time I first got introduced to, again, Mallavidya, a different form of fighting by one of the masters. And then I started practicing with him this Mallavidya style. Then I was more fascinated about grappling arts. I liked really grappling methods. So I started doing a lot of research on grappling, and then I started learning judo. I started learning judo, and I was been to national championships and all. And through this, I was being able to build up a lot of grappling. Because of that interest in grappling, I started practicing many grappling arts. Like whichever art has got some locking, throwing methods, I used to go and start picking up those systems. So in that way, my journey started with the grappling and all. And later on, I started learning Tai Chi. So that was a very good journey in Tai Chi. Also, I had a very good journey. I think till now, I'm practicing from past 20 years. I teach Tai Chi also in Hyderabad. Tai Chi also has given me a very good thing about understanding the internal benefits of practicing any martial arts. And slowly, then I got into mostly for self-defense and all. I want to pick up more about self-defense, and also I started practicing self-defense like Krav Maga, World War II combatives, military martial arts, and all these things. I started picking up, and the journey started. But in between, when I was in around ninth class, I hope so, I got introduced to Saamu, Indian martial arts Saamu. And that has really taken me to the next levels. It started going deep. So it's just like an ocean. If you can stand in front of the shore and you can see the ocean, start going inside deeper, deeper, deeper. A new discovery is happening. It's going on happening inside. So that's what I really loved it. And then I felt that I have to promote this art, and I started doing this. So this is the journey from past 35 years, and lots of research was there into it, building up the techniques and understanding why they do these techniques, why not like this, why like this, and too much of research and all. So this, it's going on now also, and it will be going on.
Great. So, sir, would love to hear. Like, I think you must have been to many masters to pick up many different skills. So, would you like to share a little bit about your masters?
Okay, so I was been with many masters, so I can say there are lots of masters whom I went and where I used to pick it up. But I'll talk about those masters who are very close to me, who are they were there with me every time, and they helped me a lot in my work also. I'll talk about those masters. So when I was practicing this martial arts, I first met some of the best masters, especially I met Guruji Nataraj Ramakrishna. I think many people know about him as a Padma Shri awardee.
Yes.
So he was a very good, he's an expert in classical dance, and I used to practice with him Perini Shivtandav. So I want to learn one warrior dance also. So that's the reason I went to him, and he accepted me as his close disciple, and he started teaching me the art. And he started teaching me one of the unique systems, which we basically call it as sound and vibrations. It's a very, very unique system of Vedic sound and vibrations. And that was one of the best subject which I was been able to learn it from him. And then later on, I went to many masters, like Aparao Guruji was one of the masters from Vijayanagaram who taught me how to fight the Vijayanagaram style, the traditional king style of Saamu. Then there was Ramana. He was one of the main masters who was there with me from past 17 years. He was there with me, and he trained me in this Dommi Saamu. Dommi Saamu is basically, it's not even though it's a very traditional martial art, it was been adopted for fighting in real life situations. So this is a very rare art now. Actually, it is not there anywhere. So only Ramana Guruji was one person who used to do this art, the last person who knows the complete fighting art. And then after that, he passed it on to me and he said that keep this art alive. And I'm actually working out on this one and keeping this art alive. So these people, basically these three people were the very, they were the people who were behind me and who used to help me a lot. Especially Guruji Nataraj Ramakrishna was one person who was always behind me and trying to help me out in what is Veeras, how a Veer should be, how a warrior will be, and how the body type should be there, and what are the different types of bodies which is there, and how you can make a body as a very strong and powerful body. What are the, and many things like scientific methods of fitness trainings, dietary trainings, and everything was been, he used to give me and he used to help me a lot in this research work. So through him, I have really learned a lot, in-depth analysis and everything. We used to discuss about the psychological tactics, how the warriors used to strategize and plan, what are the methods which they used to use. This all things we used to talk a lot. Apart from that, there are many other masters who really helped me a lot. In Tai Chi, there's Sifu George Thomas was there. He was also an excellent teacher, from whom I have understood what is meant by patience and how to be relaxed and how to teach anyone. He was the best person for that. And like that, I was being trained by some masters, like Krishnan Master was one of the masters who taught me the art of joint locking and dislocating the bones. So he was a specialist in that, and then it was an amazing journey with him also. And what I learned from him was that the way you use the practical stuff, he does not believe in anything which is impractical and which does not work. So he used to say that if you're putting a lock, if you're throwing a person, imagine that if you're doing it on the real life situations, how you're going to do. Just don't do it as if that haath pakda, gala pakda, and you're move like that and move like this and do it. But just imagine that you're on a street, and if you're going to deal with a person, how you have to do it, just do it in the same way. So it really helped me a lot to understand many things from different masters. And I used to have one very good habit or a bad habit, which we can't say that. But I always used to keep asking questions, lots of questions. So I want to know why it is like this. What is this? Why we should do it like this? So that has really helped me a lot to know lots of things in martial arts. And one of the best masters who was there very close to me, and now also he's always there with me and guiding me, was Tiwari Sensei. He was an ex-military officer, and he was my judo coach also. And he was a person who started teaching me the Indian way of doing unarmed combat, military combat tactics and all those things. So he was always there, and he used to keep telling me that go pick up many martial arts, go pick up martial arts. Whichever martial art comes in, he'll say, just go pick it up and come. So through that, I just started picking up, and then we used to come, then discuss about this art, why this is like this, why not it could be like this. And in that way, we used to develop the systems more for a practical use. So he was the person who was there always with me in the modern styles of fightings also. He was there, and he used to really help me a lot to gather information and to just keep working out on it. And really it started growing like that. And there are many other masters whom I used to go and meet them. So this is how it's with the masters.
Right. So you've been into many arts, hasn't there been any time that, that one art got mixed up with the other? So I'm just curious because you've been into so many things. Like obviously a common person like me or anyone else in that case would have probably mixed up things. But how are you able to? When is it?
Yeah, basically many people get when they look at me, they definitely ask me this question that okay, so many martial arts, do you don't get confused or you I don't know, it might be a god gift or something which I got it because one thing is there, whenever I learn martial arts, there's always one secret which I always believe it should be there for everyone who is interested in learning martial arts, that when you are going to learn something new, go as a beginner.
Right.
You have to go like a beginner. You should never ever go to a class and say that I'm a black belt holder in so and so or something like that. I'm practicing the other art from so many years, so now I want to learn the advanced tactics. No, that is not going to happen. So I used to always have this thing that whenever I go to any martial arts system, I just keep quiet. I say that okay, I don't know anything, just teach me whatever you know. So they start teaching me from the basics, and this has really helped me to understand the art in a proper way, and I was able to really get attached with that arts. The second thing is I always empty my cup before I go to some arts. I'm not worried that okay, oh, I know this art, so now how can I compare this art to that art and see how it works out. I never do that. When I go to the art, I see that okay, I'm empty and I'm just picking up that art, that's it. So through that, what happened was like after I learned and I practice also, I practice it everything in a separate way. Yeah, ultimately when it comes into the real life situations where we have to use, then definitely they'll mix up and something else might be coming out, something new might be coming out. But whenever I see through that key, when I'm practicing it them in a separate, in a different ways, I really love them. So because of that, I never had a problem that I have to go again, like, okay, they're coming, getting mixed up. I never had a problem like that. So that is one advantage which I got it, which I used to have it. So because of that, I was able to survive. Because, and my masters also used to be like very open-minded. They are not like, okay, you should learn only this, you should not learn this. They are not like that. They used to tell me, you go better pick up this art and see how it is. You go and pick up this art. They used to have friends, so they say, go, my friend is there, so and so person who is very good in this, go and pick up that art. So through that, what happened was like I was very versatile. I used to pick up everything and keep practicing it. So I never had a problem of getting confused or mixing up the arts. I never did that till now.
Great, great. So an empty cup and an open mind basically help you keep things in the right place.
True, true, true.
Right. So coming back to Indian martial art, India is considered to be a land of warriors. I mean, we have seen it like, we have heard stories in Mahabharata and Ramayana. So, would you like to draw some mythological, connections? Like, what is the origin of it and how it has basically come into the stage right now it is in? Who is the source and where it basically all began? Because India has a huge tradition of and culture of warriors, but
True.
which we don't see it nowadays often due to the modern lifestyle or the modern day things. So, would you please enlighten us on that?
Yeah. See, like we have yoga, we have Ayurveda. We know how important they are in daily life. In the same way, we have Indian martial arts. So how old yoga and Ayurveda are, so old is Indian martial arts also. Now, what happened was like Indian martial arts in India, we have very diverse cultures. People are like different languages, different states, and different states have got their different warrior cultures and different methods of martial arts. Slowly, what happened was because of many invasions which happened on Indian martial arts, Indian soil. So many martial arts were being controlled. They suppressed it. They tried to kill all the masters and all. So that's the reason Indian martial arts mainly they are not there. Now they are not there. But few people who are able to keeping this art survive. So they are trying to again make the martial art again come up, and it's happening that you already know that. Indian martial arts, it's a very, very, very old system. So if you keep going it, if you go searching for Indian martial arts, you go into Vedas. If you go into Vedas, you can see Dhanurved is basically an Veda which talks about this martial arts, Indian martial arts. So Vedas, we cannot have any date for them. They are very, very old. And in the mythological world also, it has been said that Uh, Kumar Swami was actually a very good martial artist. Lord Shiva is a very good martial artist. You see any like mythological Indian mythological things, you take it like from Ram ji se leke Hanuman, Mahabharat, you take it anywhere, you see there is a martial art part in it. So people went, they picked up martial arts, they learned in the Gurukul how to fight, and then you will see lots of stories also telling that so and so people fought like this, Malayud se lade the. If you see Mahabharat, they say that Krishna did Malayud with two biggest fighters from Kamsa and all these things. You will see lots of things about martial arts. So Indian martial art is very, very oldest style. It's a old style, very, very old style, and it is one of the best systems which not only trains how to fight, but it is giving you many other things. So in Indian soil, we say that a good master, a good martial arts expert should be a good healer also. There is nothing like, okay, he's only an kind of killer. A killing machine is there which can only go do battles and kill people like barbaric things, what we do it. In India, it is not like that. We don't call the warriors as barbarians or something. We call them as sage warriors. Sage warriors are those people who are very disciplined, very calm, who are helping people from one side. At the same time, if somebody is trying to come and attack us, only attack us, we are not going to attack anybody. But if anybody is trying to come and attack us, we are ready to protect ourselves. So lots of in-depth analysis, the in-depth meaning is there for Indian martial arts. And I can say that if Indian martial arts can be practiced in the modern world, there are lots of things can change. Just like how people nowadays are practicing yoga and telling that, oh, yoga is doing a lots of benefits. So in the same way, Indian martial arts also does a lots of benefits, not only physically, internally, and psychologically also, many things will change. So that's the beauty of Indian martial arts.
True, true. You mentioned about Hanumanji or Ramji or Lord Shiva. They were like the great warriors. But I think
Yes,
as a common people, we often forget and worship them like a god. But once at a point of time, they were like the great warriors.
that's true.
Right. So I think that's a change in perspective we should try to bring in.
True. See, now we always believe in peace. That's true. We Indians, every Indian, we pray to peace, and we always believe in peace, and we say Om Shanti 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 every time. So, but if you see everyone, when they want peace, also they are ready to fight. Is somebody is going to attack them? We are not going to talk about peace. We fought back. We fought back, and we were able to protect ourselves. So every god, whomever we are praying, is actually telling us the same thing: that be peaceful. But if something comes to you, you must be ready to protect yourself. But what happened was people are now they are going through the other phase, and they are telling that, okay, this is you know what's all is happening around. But always remember one thing: we Indian philosophy always says that protect yourself is one of the most important thing. Every god, everyone is talking about that, and that's the reason Indian martial arts is the oldest martial arts. Through Indian martial arts only, many countries like China, Japan, everywhere the martial arts spread it. But now the situation is so bad that we are not we Indians are not ready to accept our Indian martial arts, and we are trying to accept the outside martial arts, which actually we only taught them.
True.
We only taught them, and they are actually trying to. We are only learning from them again, and we are thinking it is great. So
True.
that is what is happening nowadays. So because I was been into all the martial arts, I've understood what is what. So I was able to understand, like I was been into Indian martial arts, I was been into Japanese, Chinese, Russian, everything, Israelis, everything I was doing. So I understood what in depth thing is there in Indian martial arts. Every Indian martial arts. I'm not talking about only Samu. I'm talking about Silambattam, Kalripat, Tangda. Everything is amazing systems which we have it. And I feel that every master must start developing the systems so that the modern generations can learn this, and it will be very useful for the modern generations. Yeah.
True. True. So basically, there's like Indian martial art, and there is other arts. I mean, in different part of the world, maybe observing, or in India itself, it's like a very huge country, right? In different parts of the world,
Yes.
maybe practicing. set of martial arts. So
Yes.
how do we basically pick up one particular up, and what are the things basically we should look into when picking up an Indian martial art to learn?
See, frankly to say, uh, I always believe in picking up anything. So I don't have any region or anything like that. So I love to pick up because I'm now in Telangana region in Andhra. So I picked up Andhra Pradesh, Telangana arts, and then when I went to Tamil Nadu, I picked up Silambatam. So every art has got its own importance. There is nothing like that. Oh, this is better, that is good. There is nothing like that. But nowadays, what is happening with Indian martial arts is many masters who are trying to teach these systems, they don't have an idea why we are doing this. This is the biggest issue. They don't know why we are doing it. So some master has taught them, so it is coming through lineages and they are just teaching it normally. And many arts nowadays are being taught for dance.
That's
This is actually a very bad situation for Indian martial arts because everyone nowadays are thinking that, okay, Indian martial arts, thoda dance shows, we'll add this thing and we'll do it. Don't pick up those kind of arts. You'll not learn anything. You're just going to become a dancer. That's it. I always prefer people learn Indian martial arts in a proper way from a proper masters who are actually been into this warrior, who can teach you the proper warrior culture of Indian arts. That is always good. Because when I used to go travel and pick up this Indian martial arts, when I used to go to the master and ask him that I want to learn combat, my master used to get surprised and he used to say that you're the first guy who's coming and asking for combat. Nobody is interested to learn. I said, why? He says, nobody is interested to learn combat. Everybody wants to come and just, they want to just perform a show. So they come, they just pick up few things and a few moves and all, and they'll go away and they want to just perform a show. You're the first guy who is asking. So I prefer that if you want to learn Indian martial arts, go to a proper master who is actually teaching you real combat. And who can make you understand what is Indian martial arts and how you should practice Indian martial arts in a systematic approach. Go to those masters, it will be very good. You have lots of masters around, but don't get just carried away because of the names or something. Just pick up the best master and go to him. You will be learning the perfect art.
great. I mean, to find a master like that also nowadays it's very difficult.
It's very difficult.
I'm surprised and amazed. Like I've been into so many great masters and learned from it. So that must have been like a huge homework for you
Oh,
back then.
seriously true.
True.
Because many masters, I have seen that those masters who are good, they have got, I can tell you that a good master is there with us, but due to some of the bad students who are there around him, I have seen many masters losing interest in teaching
True.
because of some bad experience which they had with the students or some bad experience which has happened around them. They stop teaching, and going to them and asking them that you have to teach me and then accepting is very difficult. They don't accept anybody. So then you have to really do a lot of things for them to actually make them say, okay, come down, I'll train you. So I had things like this, whereas many times when I went, like some of the masters said that will not teach you. Directly, he told that I will not teach you. And at least for 2 months, I have to go regularly to him to tell him that, okay, I want to learn this art. And at last, after 2 months, they accepted. So this is how it happens. But I can tell you that if properly good masters start coming out and start talking about Indian martial arts, I think Indian martial arts can be really, really good in this society. In the society, they will be very good.
Understood. There is no doubt about it. Yes, because we have the advantage of our own culture and heritage. So
True.
definitely we can take an advantage of it. Yeah.
Yes.
So, sir, I mean, your journey, like being someone who was like sick once at a point of time, and now to be like one of the Adi Guru of the art, Dommi Saamu,
Mm.
it has been like a tremendous and a huge journey over, like I think over 3 to 4 decades now. So
Yes.
we would love to know, sir, more about on your Dommi Saamu journey, sir.
How-
You are the Adi Guru there right now, who is the torchbearer now for the art
Mm.
and the lineage holder.
So this is a very funny, this is a very unique story which happened with me. I don't know why it happened. So I never knew what's the thing what happened inside also. So I was into a judo hall. I was practicing judo from many years. So Tiwari Sensei was my teacher at that time. So one day somehow Tiwari Sensei came to our so he was sitting and we were practicing on the mat, and he suddenly asked us that how many people know to rotate the stick. So it was like I was there and there were a few other people. So I learned little bit of stick, doing the stick katas and all. I just learned it when I was practicing martial arts, Japanese martial arts. So like I said, I too know stick. So other guy was there. He said, I too know how to rotate the stick. So we both took the sticks and he said, okay, rotate it and show it to us. So this guy started rolling the stick everywhere, rotating it, putting it down, up, and everything. He did it. I don't know those all things. I started doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. I started showing some kata forms. So then Tiwari Sensei said that I think this guy did it very well. So he showed the other guy and he said that you did it very well. Good. So at that time, I really felt bad that so I should also learn this. Whatever this guy did, I should also learn this. So I asked that fellow only, the boy who was there, can you teach me? He said that, okay, I'll teach you, but we'll see, I'll teach you. Okay, he avoided that. So from that time, it was there in my mind that I have to learn how to rotate the stick. That's it. And I was just trying to search out for the masters. We never got any masters at that time. And then I just forgot about it. After some 2-3 months, it was passed away. And there was one person who came to our academy, Judo Academy. He was a man around 60 years old. He'll be 60 years old man. He was wearing a very shabby dressing was there. A rustic cycle was there, and he came with a rustic cycle to our academy. And then he went and he met Tiwari Sensei. So my coach said that then he called me and he said that Nischal, this person wants to learn martial arts. So teach him some self-defense techniques. I said, okay, fine. So I took him onto the mat and I started teaching him some self-defense techniques. After the class, what happened was like I went, when I was packing my things, he came behind me and he said, do you want to learn, do you know Indian martial arts? That was the first question he asked me. And I said, I was shocked, and I looked at him and I said, no, I don't know Indian martial arts. He said, why can't you learn Indian martial arts? It will be very good for you. It was like from somewhere someone is coming and what I was searching, like they're getting it and giving it as a package to you. So, okay, why can't you learn it? Then immediately said, I'm interested, but I'm not getting any master to teach. He said, I know one master, come with me, I'll take you to that master. Then I said, okay, come on, let's go. Immediately I got up and I was in around 10th class, I think. So I was in 10th class like that at that moment. So I just took my vehicle and I went off with him. So first he said that before we go, we have to stop at one place. Then he took me into one market where there is a very small hut kind of thing. And in that one, he said, he asked me to wait outside. He went in and he bought 2 books. Very old books, very, it was like completely, I can say that that old books smell will come, right?
Smell, yes.
Yeah, smell and the dust, everything was there on the books. And he gave me 2 books. He told me that, keep these books with you. So I said, what are these books? Because I was not so good in reading Telugu at that time. So it was written in a very old Telugu method. So there'll be all mixed letters will be there. So he said that, from now you are going to start your journey to become a warrior. And a great warrior is always a great healer. So these books will teach you how to heal. So one book was completely about the old methods of herbal tactics, herbal methods and all. There was one more book which was actually talking about complete about breathing techniques, how to heal yourself through breathing techniques. So these were the 2 old books. There is no name on it also. It was very like different books, and he gave it to me and he said, keep it. I said, okay, fine. I kept it. I don't know at that time why he felt like that. He wants me to be into Indian martial arts and all. Then he took me to a place where there was a tailor shop. Tailor shop was there, and so usme wo tailor shop, it's a very small tailor shop, and he took me deep. He said, you wait here, I'll get the master. So I said, where is the master? Bolto, He's a tailor. I'll get him. So I was like, up till now we know that martial arts masters were the big guys who are running an academy and all these things, and now he's telling that no, there's a master who's a tailor and who is going to train you in this arts. So he went there and he called one of the master, and he came out and he told that okay, this is the guy who's going to train you in Indian martial arts. His name is Rangana. I was surprised. I said, then I was like in a straight mind that okay, I want to learn just rotation of the sticks. That's more than enough. I don't want to learn anything else. So I directly asked him that how many days it will take for me to learn how to rotate the sticks. So he smiled and said, "Come from tomorrow, we'll start off." I was insisting that how many days it's going to take. He said, "Come from tomorrow, we'll start." And what's the time? Morning 4 o'clock. You come, we'll start picking it up.
Okay.
So my journey started. I said, okay, let's go, Bulka. I started going at morning 4 o'clock. I used to get up at 3 o'clock, get ready and go to his house. It was around 30 kilometers at that time for me. So I used to go to his house, wake him up. He never used to get up. He used to get up at 5 o'clock. So 4 to 5, I used to wait for him outside. Then he used to teach me. So, the best part is I don't even know when I completed that rotations. And after that, I started just continuing with that art. The beauty of this Indian martial art is like an addiction. If you get it into you, you will never ever leave it. And it just went on. It just went on like that only. And frankly to say, till now, I never showed it to my coach Tiwari and said that, okay, I know now the weapons and all. I never showed it. I never show it to anybody also now. But it really makes me fully satisfied that I know this system. And after that, that day when I met that person who took me to master, one of the masters, and introduced me to that master, I never ever met that person in my whole life after that. So it was like I don't know what I can say. It's a miracle or something, whatever it is. And I asked my master also about this person. Who is this person? My master also said, see, I only met him once. That's it. When I was practicing one day, he came and said that, oh, you're doing it nicely, what you do. And after that, I never met this person. And after that, I met this person was when he introduced you to you. That's it. That's it. After that, I don't know where he is, what he is. Nobody knows about him. And that's how, as a miracle, my Indian martial arts started, and the journey started going on. And I started loving it. So I started learning from every master. And I want to go in depth into this system and see why this is so good, why it is like this. So the journey started from there.
Right. Maybe that person was like a secret messenger and you were destined to be in that place. So that actually got you into the right place. When the student is ready, they say the master will be there. So
yeah, true.
that's just what happened, because you were supposed to be there and you were destined to be there. It took him to that reach that journey. Yes.
Because I never turned back and saw what's that. After that, I just started going on with this art.
True. So, sir, like in the world of martial art, when it comes to when you hear about martial art or talk about martial art, often the image that comes into your mind is like a karate, kung fu, or taekwondo, or like nowadays, like we are seeing in our movies like Karate Fighters, Slumber, this kind of art actually we are seeing. So, how do you basically differentiate? Like how exactly they're different from each other, and what kind of significance they hold?
Okay. The first thing, if you want to understand the difference between Indian martial arts and the other martial arts, is simple thing. You have to differentiate them before Buddhism and after Buddhism. Okay. So as you know that Buddhism was born in India and then it started traveling to many other places. So before Buddhism also there was Indian martial arts. There were Indian martial arts, right?
Okay.
So how did this change is what is very important. So Indian martial arts are before Buddhism martial arts. So these are the martial arts which were being used for battlefields by the warriors of India. So warriors of India are called Kshatriyas and all. Kshatriyas, many people call it as a caste and all this thing, but there is nothing like that. It's a warriors. Warriors are the people who are actually learning and martial arts. So if you see, that's why in Indian martial arts, many martial arts actually trains you in weapons first, and then they train you in hand-to-hand combat. They have two things. First, you have to get trained in weapons, and then only, because this is what is the warrior arts. Warrior arts always they pick up the weapons first and then they pick up the hand-to-hand combat. Now, when the Buddhism started, basically the warriors who were there, they only converted themselves into Buddhists, and they started talking about. They started preaching Buddhism, and they started going to the other places like China, Japan, and all these places. When they started going there, they understood that because now Buddhists don't carry swords and sickles and all these things with them, so the best thing to train them is hand-to-hand combat. Right. So now if you see, that's the reason if you see the martial arts which is attached with the Buddhist philosophy, like Zen philosophy, like, Bodhidharma was the person who went to China and started promoting martial arts. If you see that, basically they started picking up hand-to-hand combat first and then weapons next. If you see in India, we train weapons first and hand-to-hand combat next. So this is a very big difference which is there.
Understood.
And basically we say that a person who practices weapons first and then comes to hand combat will be very, very, very powerful, because his hands and everything is already well trained because of holding the weapons, fighting with the weapons, and just fighting with bare hands is very simple for him. It's a piece of cake for him. But later on they converted into hand-to-hand, then weapons. So there is a big change in that one. And this is where we can understand. If you see any martial art which has been taught with weapons first and then hand-to-hand, you can understand that this is not from the Buddhist martial arts. It has come from somewhere else. This has come from Buddhist martial arts, which has come from hand-to-hand combat and then weapons. So now what happened was, like, many people completely differentiated them, broke them both together. So now some people who practice weapons, they practice only weapons. Some people who want to practice only hand-to-hand combat, they practice only hand-to-hand combat. In Indian arts also, they are doing the same thing. Now you can see in Thailand also, they have a different hand-to-hand combat form is different, weapons combat form is different. So they have their own styles and they're practicing it like that. But this is the reality. And if you see Japanese also, samurai culture, if you see, they have sword fighting first. And then they pick up jujitsu and hand-to-hand combat. So this is a warrior culture. Buddhist culture always comes with hand-to-hand combat and weapon. That's the difference.
It's a huge black and white difference there. I mean,
Yeah.
the Indian approach is totally reverse than what the Buddhist approach you were talking about.
Yes.
Yes. So I'm sure, like, sir, this Indian martial art, our ancient warriors, they did not only pick it up from a combat point of view. Like you were saying, the healing parts will be also there, the health,
Yes.
fitness. Also, is there, like, there must be some kind of special benefits to it? So what do you say?
See, basically, when we started learning Indian martial arts, so we always used to say this thing: if a warrior is not healthy, then there is no sense. So this guy is learning to fight with someone else, but internally he's not healthy. So how is he going to deal with the enemy? So first important thing in Indian system is to first start putting those type of exercises or massage techniques or marmakala tactics and all these things to first heal internally. So first, all the techniques which we start first healing internally, and then the student starts growing up. Then we go into the external tactics, whatever muscles and all. So if you see, like, for example, I'll give you, because I was been into Saamu and all. In Saamu, we have a very unique technique which we do it in Saamu. Like, if you see many martial arts, they have stances, they have different types of stances, lots of things. In Saamu, we always train a student first in footworks, a very unique method of footworks, which we basically call it as Brahmana Vyayamam. Brahmana Vyayamam, we basically call it as a unique method of footworks. There will be around 50 footworks are there, but first 4 footworks which we basically train them are very useful for them to build up the health benefits. It's an excellent thing. The person who can practice it, everything will be like, if he has got a BP or any problems like high blood pressure, sugar, or any other, it immediately comes down because of this technique which we practice it repeatedly. Then only we start putting them into the combat footworks. First is the health footworks, then is the combat footworks. So in this way, the art goes on. And then we start going with the weapons also. There is the rotations which we do it. That is a very important thing. Many people don't know why we rotate weapons. People think that, okay, we are rotating weapons for some to make people happy, to audience happy, but it's not for that. It's actually having a lot of health benefits, which I'll be discussing about this when we get a good time, because it's a big thing which we have to talk about. I can discuss about it when we get a good time. So basically, like in Indian martial arts, the first thing starts from the health point of view, and then slowly it goes into the combat. So that is the beauty of Indian martial arts. And we believe only in one thing: body, mind, and soul. If these three are under our control, and if the three are coordinated together, then only your health is good. Your health is good. And there are lots of rituals which we do it. There are lots of practices which we do it. First, to make the student get into that level of health, and then the combat immediately starts. So this is how Indian martial arts has been taught.
Understood. So, like, is there a suitable age to start with this kind of training? Or, like, let's say I have like a 5-year-old brother or a sister, or maybe I have someone, my mother or a father, maybe around 50s, 60s. So, do you think, like, they can still pick up some of the aspects of it for their health benefits?
Yeah. See, there is a very big, very unique things which we speak in Indian martial arts. Basically, like the kid should start when he is very small, because he's very flexible, so he picks it up really fast. Yeah, that's true. Actually, if the kid is small, but when the kid is small, very small, his mind is not so mature to understand what he's doing. He's doing it blindly.
True.
That's also good. So just he comes for the fitness, he's working out, and there is no age limit as such for an Indian martial art when we have to start. Anyone can pick it up. So let's take that. If you see Mahabharata, I'll take one simple example of Mahabharata. Panch Pandavas are there.
Right.
Each person is expert in one weapon.
Right.
Why can't everyone be like Arjun? So all the people, when there are 5 people, when Arjun is very powerful and he can use all these astras, why can't Bhim also use all these astras? Why would Bhim was been taught in Gada?
Mm-hmm.
So the idea is, in Indian martial arts, sometimes we basically teach it in a bespoke method. We basically call it as. That's a method where we see the person. Let's take a person is very old, is aged. We know what to be taught to this person. What skill should be taught to this person, so that he can easily pick it up and he can grow from that point. So the other person is a very small kid and he's there. We know from where we have to start with this kid and where we can take him. So this is a technique which Indians used it in everywhere. But slowly, because people started picking, as a martial art world, we teach them everything. But when we understand that this person's weaknesses is this and strengths are this, we start teaching them exactly what they require. So Indian martial art is for everyone, regardless of age, gender, anything. Anyone can pick it up and anyone can master it according to their limits, whatever limits they have.
Right. So there is nothing such like, this is the ideal time to start. Basically, anybody who is interested can pick up at any point of time and gain the benefits.
True.
So, like, often we see, like, when it comes to the other contemporary martial arts, like the karate, kung fu, we have something like a belt or a medal, and we often see people competing in some competitions or sports. Whereas we don't see Indian martial art being or getting there. So, how do you basically see that?
So basically, what happened was, like, martial arts. They have because people want to popularize the martial arts. So the sport form has come out. Sports form of martial art has come out. But I don't believe martial art should be a sport form. I always believe martial art should be a martial art, because once you get into a sport form, naturally your mindset changes. From a warrior mindset, it becomes like an sports person mindset, which is good as such. But I don't disagree with that one. But somehow I don't like that one. The second thing, you're talking about, does Indian martial arts have belts? So actually speaking, there was nothing like belts. Belts is just to make people get encouraged. Okay, yeah, you're progressing. You have to tell them that you're progressing. When we have to do that, when we have to tell a student that you're progressing, is when the student does not understand that am I progressing or not?
Sure.
Now, I'll tell you about the two techniques, two methods of teaching. So if you see, nowadays the modern method of teaching is like this. A student goes into the class, he does everything what master wants. He will just ask them to kick, punch, jump, do many things. Randomly, whichever he wants, master wants, he will teach them. And then he'll teach some forms and he'll send them. Or sparring or forms or anything, they will teach and they'll send them. So now the student is going every day and he's picking up something randomly he's picking up. So he don't know how much he picked up. So that's the reason they will put one exam in the last, and they will say that okay, in this is a curriculum, you have completed this curriculum, so you are getting so and so belt. In Indian martial arts, this is not going to happen. So in Indian martial arts, what we do, every student must start from step 1, then step 2, then step 3, then step 4, then step 4. If the student is not able to master step 1, he is going to stay there itself. We will not teach him the step 2. No. He should master the step 1 and then he should go into the step 2. So then if he masters the step 2, then he must practice step 1, step 2, and then only he should go into the step 3. So step 4. So now the student knows how he is progressing. So each weapon, hand-to-hand combat, everything is progressing, right? So if he learns first stick, then if he masters the stick, then he'll go to sword. So that is the next promotion, right? Then he will go to the next. So there is no need for the student to understand that, oh, I have to, in what grade I am in. So already student knows that in what grade he is. So there is no need for us to give. This is the original method where martial arts, any martial art, I'm not talking about only Indian martial arts, every martial art used to be taught in this method only. But due to the modernization and because people don't have so much of patience nowadays to come and learn it in a proper way, so the masters also are trying to take these chances like, okay, let us just make them to do randomly. So they should enjoy. So let's take now you come to the class and I'll ask you to do first step. Until you master the first step, I'm going to put you like that only. Definitely you will be getting bored and you'll say, Arey, what is this here? You're only teaching me one step without going to the next step. But if you come to my class and if I'll say jump, kick, do something, do this, do that, spar with one fellow, do everything in one session, you'll feel happy. Oh my God, I'm doing so many things. But that is useless. That does not work for you anyway. Okay, this is the best method. The traditional method is the best method. And if you can master this way for the whole life, the techniques will never ever leave you. Whatever it is. I have seen my masters who are there, they were around 70 years, 90 years masters were there. They never practice also. They'll be sitting and they'll be doing normal work. And when they pick up any weapon, they are like experts. I always used to say, when you people practice, they say, oh, we have practiced for so many hours, so many years that it's there with us. There's no need for us to think about it. Yeah. So that is how a martial art should be taught. Nowadays, when people will come and say, I'm so and so, I'm so and so, I'm so and so, and then I ask them, okay, show me this technique or show me this kata, show me this form. Then they say, a long time back I practiced, now I forgot. Then I say, then why did you practice and why did you forget? So you have worked so hard to learn something and you forgot. It is useless. Yeah, so this is what is happening. People don't practice it. People don't know how to practice also. That's the biggest issue. Because when your art is taught in a random way, they don't know what to practice. So they just leave that art when they leave it. This is what happens. Yeah.
True. I mean, your masters of the past, like, they might have practiced till then, that practice became like their breathing. So it became part of their life.
True. They are not at all like, okay, are daily, they are happy. They are happy. They are enjoying their life. They are normal. But when they do it, they do it. And, there is a very good thing, in Indian martial arts, we never know how much strength we got. And our strength is always infinity. We cannot say. And if the time comes in, I don't know what we can do. We can do some miracles also. We don't know what we can do it also. Because I can tell you one very good example. My master, Ramana, who used to, whom I bought him, and he used to stay in my farm. So we used to have hunting dogs. 2 hunting dogs were there at home, at our farm. So whenever I go there, the gate opens and the 2 hunting dogs used to run away. And to my surprise, he used to tell me, I just because I come in a car, so I say, okay, we'll go in the car and get the dogs. He said, no, no, no. Why do you want to take the car? I'll just go and get it. And to my surprise, he used to run. He used to run 3 kilometers. He used to run for 3 kilometers, catch hold of the dogs because that fellows will run really fast. Hunting dogs they are. He used to run, catch hold of the fellows and get them back. And when they are running, he used to run behind them and come to the farm. I used to get surprised that yeah, this person is around 76 years or 77 years and how he is able to do that.
Correct.
When I asked him that, what do you do? You're so fit and you can run. He used to say, really? No, 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 I am not at all fit. Don't tell me like that, he used to tell. So I used to think that, okay, this guy don't know what strengths they got. And when they use it, they can just go to unlimited levels.
True.
Yeah.
So, because you mentioned about strength, when we talk about strength, like often the image that we get is like, okay, I should have a good body figure and to be able to lift like, 100 kg, 50 kg like that, to be able to climb like this. So, is it the correct explanation that I'm talking about when it comes to strength or the differ?
Frankly to say, that is a very wrong strength. Okay, people think that, okay, if I'm lifting 50 kgs, then I'm a very strong guy. Sorry to say, that is not real strength. Real strength is a strength which is infinity, which has got infinite powers. And the strength without stamina, the strength without flexibility, the strength without agility, the strength without focus and concentration is a useless strength. So if you see in Mahabharata also, many people say that when Kurukshetra was going to start, Krishna said, "Being to go and learn from Hanuman." So many people nowadays they think that okay, Bhim ne gaya tha, Hanuman ne poonch lagaya tha ek beech mein, then Bhim tried to lift it, he was not able to lift it. Some all stories are there, mythological stories which I always believe in. But in this one there are many stories. One story which I always like it was Hanuman actually taught Bhim about strength, and what he taught Bhim about strength is this thing only. He said a strength without flexibility, strength without speed, strength without agility, strength without focus is useless. So Bhim always believes in his strength. Then Hanumanji just taught him this thing in a proper way, and then he sent him to the war. That's it. And that's the difference between the real people think that this is a strength that never works in real life situations. That's what I was telling you. These people, when they're doing some feats like this, running 3 kilometers, going and picking up something, they don't know what it is. Like now I can tell some people who run for 15 kilometers, marathon runs, they will be doing it. So they say, yeah, my limit is 15 kilometers. I can run till 15 kilometers within so much of time.
Mm-hmm.
But what if a situation comes where you have to go more than that?
True. Mm-hmm.
Can you do it?
True. I might not be able to. Yes.
You might not be able to do it. But and when a person practicing a certain technique of Indian martial arts, because they don't know the limit of what they are doing it, they can easily cross that level also and they can keep on going like that. Because when the time comes in, they can just demonstrate, they can just go ahead with that one. They are not worried ki are yaar mera limit 15 kilometers hai, mera limit 20 kilometers. Nobody is worried about that. They just keep doing it. That is the real strength. The strength which comes from internal and mind. So I always used to say before also to that I have to lift heavy weights and all. So one of my masters has told me one beautiful word that he said that make your mind strong, because your strength has got a limit, but your mind does not have any limit. So if your mind is really strong and if you can really develop that mind to the next levels, then there is no need for you to develop the strength. You can develop the strength, whatever it is, you can just build up the strength. But mind with strength is going to be infinity, and always believe in that. And I always believed in that, and I always believe in building up the internal strength mostly. People nowadays, they just think that going to some gyms and all, building up their muscles, making the muscles big is what is fitness is. But that is not fitness. That is the art of sculpturing the body. It is the way you sculpture the body. That's it. But fitness is inside. You are ultimately having a very strong muscles, but you have a very weak liver or a stomach. What fun?
Got it.
Yeah. So first thing is fitness starts from inside, building up your internal organs, making them stronger, and then going into the external body, building up the external body, making it strong. That is what is very important, and that is what plays a very vital role for strength, fitness, health, everything. That is what is very important.
Uh, Often we see, like, small kids or even the adults, we see them, dressing up in some kind of martial art gears. So
Yes.
Indian martial arts, sir, does it have any kind of dress code or any kind of specific uniform that we have to practice and wear and practice, something like that?
uh, yeah, actually, see, it's a very simple thing, so anything which is actually good, loose, and you are comfortable with, it's always good to wear that.
Mhm.
So in some traditions, basically when you are learning martial art, they used to say you have to wear that langot kind of thing, a lion a cloth and all, and then you have to practice. That is one method which happens. Some methods basically say that you have to keep your body bare and practice. Because of that, you will be having that free movement. Because when you wear shoes, there might be a chance that you get stuck when you're practicing. But as such, there is no compulsion that you have to be in
Right.
this kind of dress. Compulsion kuch nahi hai. See, basically uniforms are meant for the to keep that morale, to keep you morale boosting. So if I give you a martial art dress, it always pulls you to the academy that okay, I have to wear it and I have to practice. And one, it gives you a
Right.
discipline also. When you're in a class, everybody is in the same uniform, it looks good. Apart from that, has such Indian martial arts does not have anything. Yeah, when we practice in a traditional method, there are some traditional attires which we wear it. It's like we wear a dhoti, and there is this method of tying a dhoti also. So that things, it's just like a tradition. You can just pick it up. But as such, there is no hard and fast rule that you have to wear only dhoti and practice is not there. It's just for tradition. You can just learn this. That's it.
Traditional things, right, right.
Mm.
So our again coming back to Indian martial art and Dommi Saamu, our
Mm.
ancient warriors, some practitioners have actually used it once at a point of time to defend themselves or defend the people. So
Mm.
Dommi Saamu, like, can you recollect any kind of historical evidence, like, how in the past that has actually helped us, save the humanity or people at large, for the practitioners?
Okay, the first kingdom, basically, we say that Vijayanagaram was the first kingdom. Like, if you see India, the North India, South India, there are two India,
Right.
there are two parts. India is, and
Right.
the center part, which has been divided from North and South, is the Vindhya Mountains. Mountains are there, which actually, if you cross, then that is South. From North, cross Vindhya Mountains, you come to South.
Right.
So from there starts Karnataka, Andhra, and Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and all these places start coming in. That's what this is
Mhm.
called South India. So what happened was, like, they say that when the invaders used to come from the north, first attack the north, and then they start coming to the south. When they start coming to the south, the first people who were being attacked was Karnataka and Andhra and Telangana region. These were the people who were being first attacked directly. So there were lots of people who warriors, great warriors were there who fought and stopped them there itself. So the best thing is Vijayanagar Empire. Vijayanagar Empire is one of the most powerful empires at that time. And these people really fought for a long time to stop this northern invasion, to stop at south only. So you can
Mhm.
see that key, and at this time only, when Vijayanagar Empire was actually fighting, that is the time you can see Samu becoming very popular. They made it compulsory that everyone should learn this martial art, Samu. Not even kings, but the villagers also should learn so that they can protect themselves if anybody attacks them directly. So they used to train some units who used to be the villagers, and they used to protect themselves if something happens. Because when the invaders come, they don't go and attack the fort. The first they start attacking the villagers and all, and then they go into the fort. So they used to train them also. So that is a place where we can understand that how powerful the Samu was. So they used it, and it was developing, because they said that for 300 years or so, these people were fighting. I don't know the complete years, how many years they fought, but they were
Mhm.
continuously fighting with the North. So at that time, they started developing it a lot, martial arts. And every king, like Devaraya II, these all kings were one of the most powerful martial artists. And there is a lot of things also, like Devaraya II has used martial arts. He was an expert in martial arts, Samu especially. They say that he's expert in Samu. And Sri Krishna Devaraya is expert in wrestling. So in that way, there is a lot of accounts about Samu. And then Kakatiya dynasty is also one of the most powerful dynasty, which was there before Vijayanagaram. Kakatiya dynasty was there. And they also promoted lots of cultural things like dances, and also they promoted lots of martial arts. And they also used to practice Samu as a martial art.
Right. Because we are talking about Indian martial art and the combat side of the things, we cannot ignore the contemporary events right now that is happening. Now we are seeing like a lot of conflicts happening with our neighbors at the borders. So we are seeing like it's kind of an unconventional warfare that is coming in. So do you think like this particular art that our ancestors have won as a point of time practice, that could have actually helped, or that can actually help you out?
Definitely. Actually, I can always say that it gives an edge for us, because when we say our martial arts, our things, then immediately it gives an edge for us, because the opponent, the enemy also does not know, or it is theirs. So they might be very powerful in that. Now, you just tell me that if we go to China, Japan, and Japan, and you say that, okay, I want to fight with an Japanese karate master.
Right.
So we don't know, because we'll be scared, first of all, because it's their native art and they'll be very strong in that one. So in the same way, I prefer that Indians also, or Indian army, or anything, Indian forces and all, they should start picking up some of the Indian martial arts, and they should start putting them forward, saying that this is what we are practicing. This actually creates a kind of mystic thing for the enemies also. They'll start getting worried, but these people are practicing something unique, which is theirs. The next thing which actually works out is in India. In Indian martial arts, it's a vast techniques. There are many techniques. That's why it takes around 10 years, like that they say. If properly picked up, which are the most powerful techniques? There are many techniques which are actually used for neutralizing the enemy really quick. And those techniques, if you can easily pick them up and start teaching this to the forces, then it is like, it's one of the best methods of making the forces really strong. So I always believe that we see, because you can see that if Philippines practice a Philippine martial arts, Philippine army practices a Filipino martial arts, Chinese army practices a Chinese martial art, Russian army practices a Russian martial arts, Japanese army practices a Japanese martial arts. So that is actually, that by itself will give a question mark to us, saying that, man, because it is their native arts, how powerful they will be.
They will be, correct.
So in the same way, when we start doing it, then I think it will be a very good edge. And Indian martial arts are very, very powerful, very powerful. And if they can easily pick up the best of the best techniques from Indian martial arts, get them together and start practicing them, I think that will be like amazing. It will really work out.
I think that's a very strong and a good message to the decision makers or the policy makers out there. Why to basically look out while we, inside ourselves only we have something very traditional and rooted to our own culture and traditions. So that if that can be picked up and maybe fine-tuned with the modern situations, that might just help our soldiers who are protecting us in the borders.
True.
Right. So I think we are pretty much coming to the closer of this session. Maybe we'll have further more sessions discussing in details to the in depth of and the secrets that we have learned from masters to masters, or going through all the scriptures. Maybe 2-3 more quick questions we have for you. So like you have been a teacher, a student to teacher. Now you are a husband, and you are a father, and you are a son. So many more roles to basically play, even at your personal life, professional life, also socially. So how do you think the Indian martial art element has made a difference in all the 3 areas, all the multiple segments of your life? What was before it and what was after it? How do you think it has made a difference?
True. That's a very good question, actually.
Yes.
When I started learning Indian martial arts, I have
Mhm.
understood one thing. Patience is number one. Discipline, number two. Work hard. Keep doing it till you master it is number three. And to do these things, you have to be relaxed.
Right.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
number four. So what I used to be there? I'll tell you that part of Indian training and Indian martial arts training and how this worked out here. In Indian martial arts, as I told you, you'll be learning step one, step two, step three. There will be one step where you'll be stuck. How much
Mhm.
ever you practice, you will be not getting that step. Everyone will get stuck at one point. That is compulsory. My whole, I think now it's 25 years of experience. I know how many people where they get stuck and all.
Right.
So when we get stuck, I can see that people will start getting worried. Some students will start getting worried. Oh, I'm not getting this. What is this? First, they'll start fighting for the I'm not getting it. And they'll start getting worried why I'm not getting it.
Mhm.
Okay. And then slowly they start losing that zeal. Oh, yeah, I'm not getting it. So let me leave it. Yeah. And
Right.
then they start getting irritated. Some people, when they want to do it, they'll get irritated. They'll think, why I'm not getting that? What is this here? And all these things. The best secret for this one is you should have patience, be calm, relax. Nothing is going to happen. Relax and just relax and start practicing repeatedly till you get it. This is what is the secret of learning any technique. Now, in our daily life also, when we get into our problems, immediately we start thinking, what is this happening with me? Why it is happening like this? Why it is going on like this? You're the person who did something wrong. We start throwing blames on others and everything.
Yes.
We are
Correct.
confused. We are worried. At that time, because of the training what you did, immediately the mind starts thinking from the solution point. Okay, this is what is happening. Now you get calm. You'll start understanding it as a big picture. You'll start seeing it as a big picture, and then you'll say, okay, this is a problem. यहाँ से थोड़ा problem आ रही है. If I can correct this, everything will be solved. Really, this worked a lot for me in my life also, because like sometimes when we are there in when I'm in some training sessions and all, they will be worried. They'll call up and say that your daughter cut her finger, it is bleeding, we have to take to the doctor at this. Immediately some people, I can say that they'll get worried. Oh my god, something is happening bad. But for me, I can say that immediately my mind becomes calm. When something comes like this, my mind becomes calm. I start seeing the complete broad picture and say that, okay, first do this, control, and then we'll think what we can do the next. So that control has really built up because of Indian martial arts. And if this control comes to everyone in life, I can say that there won't be any stress and any depressions and all these things won't be there. Right.
True.
So that patience is very, very important. And Indian martial arts has taught me patience to the next levels. And being calm and just relaxing yourself is what is the secret. And this is the secret of life, which Indian martial arts has taught me.
Very well said, sir. Like patience, like often we don't see, and I think like being part of the modern generation, we tend to lack it. Take for example, when you want to learn martial art or when you come to a class, we'll always have that question: okay, how long it is going to take? Yeah, like is it how many weeks, how many months? But I think you have been in there for like now 3 decades, and still you are learning and still further improvising and polishing things. So that is actually helping you build up the patience. Right,
True.
right, right,
Again, we can see that a lot of things like some masters get irritated when the student is not doing something goes wrong.
true.
I don't like to do that, because when we are teaching, that's a part of us to be having that patience and relax and start teaching the student. Students are definitely doing. We also did many mistakes and then we grew up till here. So
Right.
definitely there also a big gain comes into the thing that of teaching methodology in Indian martial arts. Also, the methodology which we teach students
Mhm.
trains you a lot. It makes I can say that to become a guru as such, it's a very big thing. It's
Mhm.
not just the skill, so you became guru. Guru is not going to become like that just by knowing the skill. Guru is a complete different personality, a person who is a guide and who is trying to help a student to show his path.
Path. Correct.
And for that, how good the guru is, so good the student is.
Correct.
Yeah. How bad the guru is, so bad the student is. So in Indian martial arts, you cannot be a bad guru and then try to just be, oh, I'm a guru. You cannot do it, because teaching the technique by itself is a big thing in Indian martial arts. And that is also a very unique skill in Indian martial arts to teach this skills.
I think we just left with maybe two more questions. Like this is like my favorite part of the all the Q&A section. So like we see many people often fascinated with the action movies, like, you know, when it comes to their favorite martial artists, like we seen Vidut Jamal or Bruce Lee or you know, the so-called artists, like many newcomers are coming into the movies. So do you have anyone in particular, like, you know, that you like or admire?
Yeah, see, basically, I also started liking martial arts because of Bruce Lee. So it's always there is a person called Bruce Lee. I like Bruce Lee a lot because one thing is there. It's not about that he got an amazing skill as such. There are many masters who have got that amazing skill, but the mindset which he got towards martial arts, his philosophy towards martial arts, is one of the best things, which I really loved it. I always used to feel that, okay, the way he go in depth into different martial arts, he was able to understand different martial arts, the way he was able to get some of the best techniques, which is suitable for him, and get it to one place and develop a unique system of fighting. That is actually something great. And I always believe in that key martial art without evolution. If the martial art is not evolving and it is trying to be like that only, there is no use of it, and it should evolve. That's the reason Dommi Saamu also, I always keep developing it. I always keep evolving it to the next level so that the modern generations can learn it and use it effectively. That is the base idea. And Bruce Lee was the first person who started doing this by adding on different skills, developing it to the next levels, and teaching it to the modern generations. Bruce Lee was the best guy. So I always like Bruce Lee for that.
Yeah. So I think with that, we'll just try to close this session for today, and then we'll again have you back in our upcoming sessions to drill, you know, into the Indian martial arts and what are the secrets. It has been how you were able to dig it up and how we can apply some of it in our own practical life to improvise ourselves. So thank you so much, sir, for joining us on this.
Thanks a lot.
And I hope your message goes out to a large audience and people try to understand what you are trying to say, and you know, maybe some of them pick up few things out of it and be safe for themselves as well as for the others.
Thanks a lot, Henry. Thank you very much. This is amazing. I really loved it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.